right, hello, and welcome to today's weekly Wednesday Warble. I'm Kyla Tilley, and I've got 3 guitars with me today. We're gonna give this one a whirl. I think there's something wrong with its pickup. So if there's trouble, I have an acoustic on hand to grab. So it is Valentine's Day, and I am not a person who writes a lot of love songs, but it turns out that I have written enough for, well, I did put one cover in today because there's a song that I really wanted to do, but yeah, it turns out I do have enough love songs to fill a 10-song set. Who knew? Who knew? Anyway, I'm going to start with one that I think when I went to write it, I had not been thinking of it as a love song. But one of my Twitch viewers was like, this is a love song. This is about a relationship. And I was like, oh, yeah, I think it is. I think you're right. Here in the beginning, the only thing that matters is now. In this hour, just be present. Don't think of what comes next. Forget what comes before. Just be in this moment, conscious and aware, quietly perceiving. Flicker of doubt lurking in view. Welcome it in. Throw it away. Here in the beginning, the well of possibility is full. In this hour, just be present. The outcome is not set. Let events unfold. There on the sides, just out of reach, infinite scripts, let them be. Flying through the universe, uncountable particles crashing and burning, exploding, imploding. Chaos and disorder, forming and reforming, culminating in daylight. Tiny bit. All right, so that is the beginning, and I sent out a warning on social media earlier today because listen to that crackle. Let's stick with the acoustic today. That could also just be that could be all sorts of things. We're solving technical issues this week. That could also just be my wireless system, but let's go with our tried and true classical today. So I sent out a notice on social media because I have 2 streams planned, as I do on Wednesdays. I do this YouTube stream, and then I usually do a writing stream over on Twitch. I'm also on TikTok. But we're having a winter storm, and last week, they were like, we're gonna have a big long winter storm, and we didn't get a big long winter storm. But anyway, they told us that tonight and today we'd have a big long winter storm, and they seem to have been right this time. So there is a storm raging outside, so if I suddenly disappear, you can just assume I've lost power. But it's also a good lead-in for this next song. So this is a true story, and I wrote this a couple years ago, where me and my husband spent Valentine's Day weekend digging out after 2 huge massive snowfalls. And we sort of there was a big snowfall, and we were like, should we dig the car out? And we're like, will we dig the car out? Should we dig the car out? Nah, we're not going to go shovel. And then it snowed, then it froze and turned to ice, and then it snowed again, and then we were like, okay, I guess we have to go deal with this. So we spent the whole weekend, we spent 2 days, it took us 2 days, and the snooker was on. So we were watching snooker, and in between segments of shoveling, so I wrote this song about it. We can't go anywhere, the snow has blocked us in, covered the driveway, obstructed the door. Our car's ensconced in a top sheet of ice, cuddled right into a duvet of snow. We're gonna be trapped in here if we don't do something. Crystalline structures descended from the sky, accumulated and then fell some more. We're gonna be trapped in here, and it's cold and wet and snow is heavy, and our backs are gonna feel it tomorrow. We'll call it romantic, it's just the two of us, me and you and 2 falls of snow. 2 days to dig out, hey Steve, good to see you. 2 days to dig out, ending on Valentine's. There's no one I'd rather be trapped inside with. Light some candles and get in the mood. Then we'll get cozy in front of the TV and kiss when the snooker announcer says the word. We're gonna run out of beer if we don't do something. The story's not far away, but there's no place to walk. Safer to huddle inside for the night, but we're gonna run out of beer, and it's cold and wet. Snow is heavy, and our backs are gonna feel it tomorrow. We'll call it romantic, it is just the 2 of us, me and you and 2 falls of snow. 2 days to dig out, ending on Valentine's. There's no one I'd rather run out of beer with than you. Danger of becoming a lyric when you pop up at a Kyla Tilley show. We'll just have to face it, there's work we must do. Can't just ignore it, stay in a cocoon. We'll put our snowsuits on and outside we'll glide. You scoop up the powder while I hack the ice. We better get shoveling, we're gonna get out of here. We'll take it in pieces, we'll take lots of breaks, we'll take lots of fresh air and it'll do us good. So we better get shoveling, and it's cold and wet and the snow is heavy, and our backs are gonna feel it tomorrow. We'll call it romantic, it is just the 2 of us, me and you and 2 falls of snow. 2 days to dig out, ending on Valentine's. shoveling the snow with them. Oh. There we go. Snow shoveling with my true love on Valentine's Day. A true tale. A true tale of sloth and its consequences, I suppose. We have a lot of shoveling in our future by the looks of things outside as well. All right, this next one is a love song that came about. One of my Twitch viewers suggested, because I'm always looking for prompts and things to write songs about, since I go over there and I write songs. And one of my viewers suggested that I find a textbook and open a textbook at random. And I think he said something like, oh, I'd like to see what happens like if you just opened a textbook at random and wrote about what you see. So I went upstairs where there's a lot of math textbooks, and I opened up this book, and I got to the page of Zero Knowledge Theory, which in a nutshell, a very small nutshell is, or a very big nutshell, is you cannot prove the thing, but you can prove that the proof exists. And math textbooks always use pairs of people to describe the problem. So there's always a prover with a P and a verifier with a V. So they often have names like Paula and Vince, which is like, well, clearly we're writing a love song. Found Paula in the yard, sitting underneath a tree, reading elementary number theory and all of its applications. La 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 la, we find Vince inside the house, pouring through his diary, contemplating all the aviary specimens that he has spotted. La 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 la, la 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 la. Suppose Paula can discern from the spaces in between all the thousand tiny loving gestures that he sends in her direction. La 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 la. She has X but not A, and she'll never know B. That's the way things will stay, but proof exists of their congruency. La 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 la. Let us now assume that Vince is well aware of the underlying meaning in her imperceptible glances. La 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 la. He knows N but not P, and he's unsure of Q. That's the way things will be, but proof exists, it's irrefutable. La 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 la. La 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 la. She has X but not A, and she'll never know me. That's the way things will stay, but proof exists of their congruency. He knows N but not P, and he's unsure of Q. That's the way things will be, but proof exists, it's irrefutable. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. There, elementary number theory and some of its applications. I wrote the word, the title of the textbook was Elementary Number Theory and Its Applications, and I needed some extra syllables for the line, so I wrote and all of its applications, and then I sang it for my husband, and he's like, no mathematician would be so I don't know, it would be outrageous to suggest that it was all of its applications. So I was like, okay, I'll change that line to some of its applications, which sometimes I remember to do and sometimes I don't remember to do. Anyway, what have we got next? We've got this song next. So this is the only cover. I kind of thought that I'd probably be doing a few more covers and, you know, the love song. Like, there's a lot of love songs out there. Oh, I just thought of another love song that I wrote that I should have put in the list. Next Valentine's Day. It turns out I wrote a lot of love songs. But anyway, this is not one that I wrote, but it's one from my very favorite band. And this is an Incredible String Band song. And the Incredible String Band did write some really beautiful love songs. And there's something really sweet about them because it was started by three guys, and then one of them left. And the other two guys kept the band going, and then they like got their girlfriends to join the band. So it was two couples for the longest time, and which is just kind of sweet and romantic. And so they've got some really pretty love songs, and this I think is one of my favorites. And my friend Kara shows up a lot in today's set. I think she has something to do with 4 of the songs. But this song she has something to do with because she asked me to learn this song to play at her wedding. So that adds a little more to the romance here. Anyway, Painting Box by the Incredible String Band. Oh, and I'm very fuzzy, aren't I? Let's defuzz. That's not the storm. That was just me moving around too much to get my guitar. All right. When the morning of your eyes comes waking through my shadows, leaving just a trace of twilight sleep, I whisper to the baby raindrops playing on my window and tell them gently this is not the time that they should weep. For somewhere in my mind there is a painting box. I have every color there, it's true. Just lately when I look inside my painting box, I seem to pick the colors of you. My Friday evening footsteps plodding dully through this black town are far away now from the world that I'm in. My eyes are listening to some sounds that I think just might be springtime. With daffodils between my toes, I'm laughing at their whim. For somewhere in my mind there is a painting box. I have every color there, it's true. Just lately when I look inside my painting box, I seem to pick the colors of you. Purple sail above me catches all the strength of summer. Fishes stop to ask me where I am bound. I smile and shake my head and say my little ship is sinking, but I kinda like the sea that I'm on, so I don't mind if I do drown. For somewhere in my mind there is a painting box. I have every color there, it's true. Just lately when I look inside my painting box, I seem to pick the colors of you. Oh, very good, Nancy. Well, I'm glad you could join us. I'm glad you could join us, even for 20 minutes. Happy Valentine's Day to you. I know you've got a Valentine. You got a Valentine. Oh, this is the next song. We'll go back to my, what is this? My classical guitar. So this is a song I wrote a while ago. This is another one. This is a love song that I wrote about myself from the point of view of my long-suffering husband. And I wrote it when we were living in Montreal in a series of one-bedroom apartments with no furniture. But we have hobbies and interests and things. So there was stuff. There was CDs, there was books, there were shoes. There were things piled in piles on the floor around the walls. And I kind of lost my mind for a little bit over it. And anyway, I wrote this song, and then everything was better. There's not much space here in our domicile. Our limited storage has taken your mind. Once you were vibrant and full of ideas, I was so taken by your artistry. Then anytime inspiration would strike, you'd let the mundanities of life slide. Now you feel inundated by our lot. I try to engage you, but all you can say is adequate shelves. Adequate shelves. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Cleanliness is next to godliness. I suppose home decor is a creative pursuit, but honey, you're taking the notion a little too far, don't you think? You enter the pupa butterfly and come out a worm. This metamorphosis disturbs me. I used to come home to your joyous embrace. The beautiful music we made was divine. You whispered the naughtiest words in my ear. Try to engage you, but all you can say is adequate shelves. Adequate shelves. What can I do to bring you back? I've tried reasoning, I haven't tried everything. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. So much for lingerie, chocolate and jewels. Since your notion of Swedish porn's been revised, I'll bite the bullet, attempt to provide adequate shelves. Adequate shelves. Adequate shelves. There we go. Adequate shelves. And yeah, I suppose the little theme we've been on in these last 4 or 5 songs has definitely been actually that's a theme in a lot of these songs. I'm looking at my set list here. It's like a lot of these songs are about lengthy relationships, and this next one is definitely about two people who know each other very well. Words come easy when I'm bed, flowing free and fettered. Try to catch them, hold their march, cross the landscape, digging scars. Words escape us when in need, tongue-tied, faltering. They're forever in still life. Words unsaid, misunderstood. I'll paint the sound of your intentions, paint them as best as I can with what I know. And maybe I've blended the colors wrong, and maybe I've altered the shades to suit myself, but maybe I'll paint you a portrait with all your hues, and maybe I'll find all the textures you've hidden there. Actions speak louder, they say. Still we fumble, bruising, to so reveal another code, deeply seated, sheltering. I'll paint the sound of your intentions, paint them as best as I can with what I know. And maybe I've blended the colors wrong, and maybe I've altered the shades to suit myself, but maybe I'll paint you a portrait with all your hues, and maybe I'll find all the textures you've hidden there. There we go. Now, are all y'all still there? My screensaver popped up. It's very disconcerting because you all disappear. All right. So let's paint the sound of your intentions. And next we've got the next three songs. These are three more songs that my friend Kara has something to do with, and you've heard me speak of her before because she's written the lyrics for some of my songs. She didn't write any of these, but she definitely had something to do with all of them. And so this next one, this is the Ballad of Spook and Boots, and Spook and Boots were actually friends of hers. I've never met Spook or Boots, but I heard her tell lots of stories about them. And anyway, one day she'd heard a rumor that they'd both met, like, I can't remember what the rumor was. Like, it might have been traveling tattoo artists or something. But anyway, they'd sort of like, she'd heard this rumor that they'd both met, like this pair of wild and interesting women that had run off into the sunset with them. And it turned out the rumor was not true. But I felt that was enough to write a song. I thought that was... Actually, the next 3 songs I could introduce as, I thought that was worthy of song. So here we go. This is the Ballad of Spookin' Boots. Spook sat in his tattoo parlor late at night, playing cards, a bottle of good old Jack Daniels on the table, close at hand. Then Boots sparks up another draw and sings a line from a legal smile. So Spook puts down the cards and grabs the guitar. Well, Annalie, she was a drifter. Her only friend was a dog named Henry. Well, Hank and her had walked the whole world over. This small town seemed like any other, till a familiar chorus came her way. Hank's ears perked up, he knew it too, and they followed the sound right to Spook's door. Well, they were welcomed in, made to feel at home. She soon fell in love with Spook. He reciprocated. Well, by and by, Marina Mariner came to town. She sailed in on a boat named Woodstock. She never stayed long anywhere she was going. Her feet were itchy, her soles were worn. Well, she navigated by the stars, and when she heard her favorite song, she followed it right into Boots' arms. Well, soon they fell in love, but Boots knows she won't stay. He made the choice to go, and she was glad he made it. But Spook couldn't bear to see Boots leaving, so he packed up his tattoo parlor. And Annalie was sick of walking, and Henry went where she did. So Annalie and Spook, Boots and Henry, and of course Marina, sowed their oats in Woodstock. And to this day, them 5 are sailing late into the night, playing cards, a full supply of good old Jack Daniels, close at hand, battened down. Now whenever Boots sparks up a draw, everyone leans back and smiles, and they all sing along. Spook plays guitar. So there. And I realize I put these 3 together. I put these 3 songs together because they are Kara related, but they are also, I realize, the beginning of the love affair related. So this next song, I think this probably ends up in my set list around Valentine's Day, and that's about it. I put a video up on YouTube ages and ages ago of it. I guess like 22 years ago, something like that. I had the pleasure of introducing my best friend to her husband, and I sat there and watched 2 people fall in love at first sight, and a year later, when they got married, I wrote this and played it at their wedding. And so this is an absolutely true story. I was there, I saw the whole thing go down, and I thought that that was worthy of song. a cold night. Lady Luck is at the ship in Cara City, at a table by the door looking across the room, at a man that she don't know, even though their paths have crossed 1,000 times. His name is Kevin, and he's been drinking for some time now, and he's thinking that maybe home's a good idea, but as he's leaving, he sees the skin of her bare shoulders. He stops to say hello and strikes up a conversation based on that. She starts talking. Kevin wonders at his fortune, for in her voice is more melody than he has ever heard. And somehow through his drunken stupor he comes up with things to say, and it seems that care is taken with him too. And he falls down, 'cause he can't believe her beauty. She falls over, delighted by his wit. They say, hey, why aren't we together? 'Cause together we'd be better than we ever were apart. Well, now Kevin, he has got a nasty cold. His nose is running. As he wipes it in his mittens, he confesses that at home beside his bed is a t-shirt he's been using for this very purpose for 3 days. Well, now Cara thinks that this is lovely, and she tells him all about her tongue, which is so long that she can touch her nose, so she can lick the snot up before it starts running down her lip. And he says, man, am I really leaving? She says, hell no, you're having one more drink. He sits down, and they decide to get together, 'cause together they're far better than they ever were apart. And now Cara gets to look up at her man. She gets to wear her high heels, which makes Kevin happy too. She can look him in the eye when they two-step at the bar. And he doesn't have to hurt his neck to kiss her, to kiss her, to kiss her. He reads her poems. Cara, she don't get them, but she don't mind, 'cause she helps him to prepare for writers' meetings. She makes wicked guacamole, sets the tables out, so starving poets have something to eat. And while he's writing, she is making funky clothing, really long things, so the two of them look great each time they go out. Where always foremost in their minds is the thought of going home, where they won't get arrested if they're nude. And she says, Kevin, help me write my grant proposal. He says, sure, Cara, but I've a proposal of my own. And she says, yes. So they're gonna be together forever and ever and never be apart. And he falls down, 'cause he can't believe her beauty. She falls over, delighted by his wit. They say, hey, we're gonna be together, 'cause together we're far better than we ever were apart. There we go. So that song is entitled Love and Mucus. So we've got 2 songs left, and this third one, this second last one, this penultimate song, is another from, I guess, the same era. Me and Cara were in a heavy metal band together called Endearing Perversion, and in general she wrote the lyrics and I wrote the riffs, and this is one of 2 songs that band did that I wrote the lyrics. And I wrote this in a Tim Hortons, which is a donut shop here, a ubiquitous donut shop in Canada. I had read a little brief in the paper, and the headline was Aging Octopus Finds Love at Last. And there was a very quick little story about how some aquarium had this very old octopus named J1, and they didn't know if he would ever mate, but they introduced him to a young octopus named Aurora, and they got it on. And so I wrote this song. I will maybe set myself a little bit further back from the microphone. Spermatophores have been seen hanging down from J1 siphon. Well, we really didn't think he had it in him. Oh, we really didn't think he had it in him. A confirmed bachelor, a lifelong virgin, took to life in captivity with all the grace of the octopus clergy. Never thought about pearls, never thought about children. Now he's going to sire 100,000 of them. Spermatophores have been seen hanging down from J1 siphon. We really didn't think he had it in him. Oh, we really didn't think he had it in him. Aurora, she's just a young thing. Aurora, she's very fetching. He's getting on in years. His skin is eroding. He's not as strong as he used to be. His suckers have divots, but she likes senior octopi. She's been looking for a long time, 'cause male cephalopods die soon after mating. Spermatophores have been seen hanging down from J1 siphon. We really didn't think he had it in him. Oh, we really didn't think he had it in him. One touch from her tentacle set his sweetheart's beating. One look from her milky eye, and he changed color. They intertwined, he wrapped his 8 tentacles around her, and they made love for 8 long hours. Spermatophores have been seen hanging down from J1 siphon. Oh, we really didn't think he had it in him. Oh, we really didn't think he had it in him. You should have told your friend to call you back after the show. That's quite all right. That's quite all right. The nice thing about these YouTube shows is that they stay up forever and ever. All right, so we have one more song. And this is, yeah, I like this one. This is a love song I wrote a couple years ago now, I think. Oh, yeah, 2021. Summer of 2021. I even have a date on the thing. And it's what I will leave you with on this Valentine's Day special. It is beautiful, and it's completely ours. We can call it free if we feel like it, or it is ours to choose how we define ourselves, how we spend our time. when we are together. And it is whimsical and majestic too. It's almost unreal that it's truly ours. For it is beautiful and it's completely ours. We can call it free, for that's what it is. Free from walls and impossession. Free to exist as we are. It is comfortable, yet adventurous. We are always home, where we find ourselves. And it is beautiful, and it's completely ours. We're completely free when we are together. All right, and there we go. There we go. The first and the last are your favorites. Well, there you go. That's how we put the set list together. All right. Well, I thank you so much for joining me once again for the weekly Wednesday Warble. I had a brief attempt at not calling this the weekly Wednesday Warble, and I discovered that that's the way. I just kind of like that name. So in March, it will go back to being the weekly Wednesday Warble. Next week, I will not be here. I will be in Kansas City. And I will not be doing a live stream. But I will be posting a pre-recorded 3-song set on the theme of alchemy. Oh, thank you so much, David. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're enjoying these and have been coming to these on the regular. So next week it will just be 3 songs pre-recorded at the same time the video will go live, and then the week after, which is the 28th, I will be back, and we will be doing 10 songs about how it's still cold outside. I'm assuming it will be cold outside. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Take care.